Tesla Model Y is an awfully good car. Some say it's very good, the best car in the world. It's certainly the most popular selling model, at least in 2023, 2024, 2025 might be an exception, but Motor Trend has driven it. And they've got a few bones to pick. They think it's a better computer than it is a car. And I would say, what's the difference if it's got wheels? Let's find out what they're all upset about. I'm Brian. Welcome to Future Ozza. Yeah, so the Tesla Model Y, it's premium. It's a better computer than it is a car. Updates go a long way to improve it, but we have some notes. Pros, we're going to start easy because all of this ridiculousness needs to be addressed. Spacious cabin with good cargo volume, benchmark EV functionality. What? Okay. So you're comparing everything to it. That's already a good sign. Cons, poor steering tuning. Not sure what you're on about, but of course we will get to it. Busy and stiff ride. Busy. Okay. Cheap and clinical interior ambiance. I thought you didn't like busy. Hey, there was a time when Tesla Model Y made the most sense for EV shoppers. When it arrived for 2020, the SUV offered compelling range and charging speeds, a spacious cabin, and a tablet-like infotainment display that would receive periodic updates with new content, all at an attractive price to boot. And it still does. What are you talking about? It arrived, compelling range. The range has improved. Compelling charging speeds. They are at least as good, if not better. A spacious cabin has not changed. Tablet-like infotainment that gets updates. Yes, all of that is still true. And an attractive price, well, adjusted for inflation, it's only gotten cheaper. In fact, even without adjusting for inflation, it is cheaper than it was in 2020. Okay. In the intervening years, though, a number of competitors have arrived to challenge the Model Y's dominance, giving them aid and comfort. The supercharger network is now open to more vehicles from other brands. Yes, removing one of Tesla's key cross-shopping advantages. Removing it. Did it remove it? Or does that moat still exist? Because I happen to know for a fact that, at least according to Grok, whom I trust on simple facts, 60% of US superchargers are open to non-Teslas. So 40% are not. 40% of the locations that Tesla has, you may not use with your Ioniq or your Rivian R1T. With or without a charger, you're only able to use some chargers in some locations. Very well. Rivals like the Mustang, the Hyundai, the Kia are compelling alternatives. Are they? I've driven them. I've reviewed them. Those reviews are on this channel. They're good cars. If you want more than a car, they're not. If you're comparing a Mach-E to a gas Ford, it's a good car. It's a great car. But if you're comparing it to a Tesla, it might fall a little short. Better performance. So they have got better charging performance. Do they? Broken chargers and long lines and expensive charging experience to me are not better charging performance. If you drive a non-Tesla, the best charging experience there is, according to people I know who have them, is to charge at a supercharger, where you get hopefully as good of an experience, though some cars charge slower, and it costs more. Whether you're paying the monthly fee to be part of the network, or you're just paying more for each charge. That does not strike me as better charging performance. Well, I can take my Porsche Taycan to an Electrify America that's got higher charge speeds. Yeah, there's like 6 of them. You don't have that car, and you don't have that charger in your neighborhood. What difference does it make? Better driving dynamics, or both? Well, the Taycan may have better driving dynamics than a Model Y. I should hope it does. It costs 2 to 3 times as much. But most cars do not have better driving dynamics. And again, I know because I have driven them both. And both, well, you're talking about a different car. You're talking about something that costs 3 times more at that point, at least 50% more. Where then does that leave the Model Y Premium rear-wheel drive, formerly known as just the rear-wheel drive, no longer the cheapest option in the automaker's SUV lineup? Well, that honor goes to the Model Y Standard. Okay, but you picked which car you're reviewing. You picked a middle car. I don't know. How is that something we're going to complain about? I don't get it. This primary advantage for this vehicle is the EPA rated 357 miles of driving range. Situated between the standard and the all-wheel drive premium, this one has the makings of being the Goldilocks. We put it through our testing to discern if that's the case. Lovely. Modern marvel. On paper and in practice, it gets a lot of things right, but we still don't like it because we're Motor Trend and we got to be edgy. It's also quite improved versus the pre-2025 models due to a refresh. Yeah, so we liked it before. It's gotten notably better in virtually every category, and we don't like it. Those figures, models like this, 300 horsepower, 307 feet-pound of torque, those figures are hardly headline making. So I thought, is it hardly headline making? Because I went through and tried to find when was the first car that would do 5-second 0 to 60s. What I found is the Ferrari in 1962 could do about 5 seconds, sometimes 5.4, but they only made 32 of them. I then had to go quite a bit farther down to find the first real mass production was the Corvette C4 L98 TPI in 1985. 1985 was the first year you could get a real production mass-produced vehicle that could do 5 seconds on the 0 to 60. 85 was quite some time ago for those unfamiliar with how linear time works, but that was a super fast sports car. We're mad about that. Okay. Yeah, it's not headline making, but 5 seconds is quicker than you need. Plenty enough for most folks. The cabin is a lot quieter. With improved sound deadening, Tesla has retuned the suspension for better small bump isolation. We love the automaker's one-pedal driving too. That's great. Inside the redesigned cabin, the Model Y continues to be one of the most practical SUVs in its class with a deep cargo well and a real trunk with enough space to be genuinely useful. New materials, ambient lighting, they look considerably more upscale than before, and they've removed the column shifter but kept the turnstock, addressing one of our criticisms. Power folding rear seats, even better. Dual ventilated and heated seats in the front and heated in the second row. Fantastic. But for many, the tablet at the center of it will be a primary draw. Look at it. Look at that beautiful screen. They even acknowledge the graphics are crisp. The touchscreen is one of the most responsive on the market. I've never noticed a lag. Maybe there's something more responsive out there. The rendered live feed of what the model sees is useful, although it can be distracting. And then there's Autopilot, which combines hands-on adaptive cruise control and lane centering. And it's one of the best of its kind. Tell me who's got better Autopilot. Tell me who's much more advanced system, much more expensive system. It's included. It is included in the price. That's something you usually pay extra for. Equipped with FSD beta or supervised, our test car made decisive lane changes when necessary, and the attention monitoring is commendable. Our test car also receives the auto shift beta. It's fine. It works well. I love it. We'd be remiss not to mention the charging. Now here's where it gets silly. Remember they said charging. It's too slow. You guys, it's so slow. The Model Y's charging, which represents something of a standard, its peak charge is a solid benchmark for the competition. So you're benchmarking it, but it's not good. It's matched by the Hyundai Ioniq 5. It adds 145 miles of range in 15 minutes to 23 and a half hours. For comparison, the Ioniq adds slightly more in 15 and slightly less in 30. I thought you said those were better. They're not. They're just more expensive to charge. Leaving much to be desired, and here's where Brian gets to have fun because you, my friend, are crazy. Our list of criticisms is nearly as long. Fundamental aspects of the driving experience, starting with a ride that's still busy and harsher than ideal. It's not harsh. Again, I've driven it, and I've driven other cars as well. It's not as plush or cush as, say, a Mercedes, but I don't think it's meant to be. It's not a Mercedes. Yeah, that's weird. And busy. What is a busy driving experience? What does that mean? Teslas are the easiest cars I've ever driven. I don't know what to tell you. Rear seat passengers are still subjected to a little bit of a harsher ride. I have not ridden in the back. I cannot speak to that. But based on everything I'm seeing so far, I have trouble believing anything you say. Leaning down to use the touchscreen in the second row while the vehicle's moving can leave you feeling nauseated. Why are you leaning down? It's right there by your knee. Leaning down? How tall are you, Motor Trend? Very weird. Refinement issues affect other aspects of it. As quick as the Model Y is to get off the line, the high-pitched motor whine at full throttle is an issue. We typically... Wait. What car were you in? Guys, in the comments, if you've got a Model Y Juniper, is that a thing? Because I've been in it, and I've floored it, and I've never heard that. What are you talking about? The steering is numb on center and twitchy to the point of excess when you enter a corner. It's not variable steering, and it's not steer-by-wire, so I'm not sure what on earth you're talking about. It's other reputable legacy companies like you have reviewed this car without making this point. I don't know what you're talking about. Although it can sustain a solid clip on a winding road, the lack of natural progression in the steering. Again, what are you talking about? Some areas of improvement are also worthy of critique. The reworked interior still feels clinical due to Tesla's commitment to ultra-minimalism. Well, if it's by design, I don't know that we have room to complain about it. With physical controls limited to the pedals, steering wheel, buttons, and knobs, and seat adjusters, and turn signal stock. That's a lot of buttons. The Model Y requires you to dive into its touchscreen or use voice controls. Okay, just use the voice controls to adjust everything else. This even buries controls for steering wheel and mirrors in the menu. How often are you changing your seat position? I don't mean between drivers. I don't mean if you have two drivers and each of you likes the seat in a different place. I mean you, one driver. Because I set up the mirrors when I first got the car. I don't know if I've ever changed them on purpose. Once, when I was stuck in traffic and a guy in a pickup truck was blinding me, I adjusted it so I couldn't see. And then I started to adjust it back, and I just hit restore previous settings and it restored them. The seat, I don't move the seat. If someone else in the house is driving the car, they use their profile and it puts the seats and mirrors where they like them. We don't adjust those. Why are you adjusting those? How often? Very, very weird. I would say very weird, but what I mean is lazy. Dumb and lazy. There's a lot of content packed into the screen, including a web browser, video games, music, and streaming. However, there's no CarPlay or Android Auto. Oh. Would it surprise you to know that a lot of manufacturers have started moving away from those because while those were affordable, easy to integrate items a little bit ago, that's changing. They're increasing their fees because they can, because they provided a service to the car makers at basically no charge, and now they're hooked. You know, your first one's always free, just like in those after-school specials they warned you about. Grok is just another chatbot with all the perks and limitations of typical AI. It's not integrated into the vehicle, but they say it will be. Well, okay. Do you want the first generation to have control? I don't think that's necessary. Don't use it. Don't use it. No other cars in the US come with an AI chatbot. In China, many do. This isn't China. Are you comparing it to Chinese cars? As for Tesla's FSD, which the automaker caveats as requiring supervision, the rather impressive technology can pilot the vehicle for long stints without needing driver intervention. You must stay vigilant, though. It operates with confident autonomy up until the moment it's unsure of what to do or the vision is restricted. Then it hands back control over to you, placing liability squarely into your hands. Or it simply follows the incorrect path. So first of all, the liability has been in your hands the whole time. Don't make that mistake, and follows the incorrect path. I have had the red hands disengagement a number of times, but if I didn't grab it, I mean, it's not like it was about to do something crazy. It just couldn't see as well as it wanted to. On our winding test loop, it has a tendency to wander over the center line. have never had that experience in a Model Y. So I don't know. If you treat it the same way as Super Cruise, Tesla's system shines. It does say it also tried to drive through a closed gate arm it couldn't see, requiring us to brake strongly. You can just brake. Strongly. If you're paying attention, but comparing it to Super Cruise, it shines. That being said, Tesla allows the car to operate up to the limit of its capabilities before relinquishing control to the driver in a way that's morally dubious. Shut your pie hole. You are what? Morally dubious. Blah. Who is this? And the range doesn't measure up to the EPA's rating. In our 70-mile-an-hour road trip, the 357 only came in at 294. Now, here I'm going to take issue with you because I know that's bogus. You see, I suspected that would be the case. We did an overnight test drive of the Model 3, the Highland, the rear-wheel drive, because I said I'd heard that it had ridiculous range, that it had about the stated range. But I needed to see for myself before I would push my son to buy one. So we did. We took it out. We drove hours. We drove 4 hours, mostly highway, a lot of surface streets as well. And after 4 hours of driving, when we returned the car, it was still at 28%. It is a road trip beast. Now, I would love to have Will from Tesla Jigsaw back on the channel. We were going to do that this week, but time got away from me. He took out the Model 3, did the exact same range test. He got 267 miles. So that's pretty good. If we were looking for the Model Y, here's a Model Y. This guy got 365 miles. It's free to like videos. Please like mine. It does the right. Now, maybe RSEV here is a big liar. Like Brian, we're all big liars here. But I don't think that's the case. No, it really does get the range. It really does get the range. So I don't know how you were driving, but I'm finding you to be dishonest. Yeah. The verdict? Shoppers checking out Model Y driving the same car for 10 years are more sure to be blown away by its technological wizardry, but the magic isn't real and there's a man behind the curtain. Check behind your curtains, folks. You heard it here first. Please check behind your curtains. Make sure there's no men there. The center display and overconfident semi-autonomous driving technology do a lot of the heavy lifting for a car that lacks polished driving fundamentals. Gush shut your mouth. Gush shut it. Would you, could you? Pretty please, with a cherry on top. No more from you. For some, it'll still be value enough. You get a lot of standard features. Ultimately, it performs well as a rolling tablet, but the redesign falls short of expectations, which means it's also lost it no longer enjoys leadership status. We cannot recommend it. Who are you? Billy Raybach, Renz de Mondel. So, Billy, Renz did a good job taking pictures. You did a very questionable job. I question your judgment. Guys, what did I miss? What did I misunderstand? Leave it in the comments below and stay tuned and juicy. And I cannot wait to hear from you clever robots when you subscribe. Yeah.